you see these characters, you're like, oh, I've met that guy before. Oh dear.
People are the same. They've never changed.
No, and maybe they never will. Damn it.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Off to Broadway, the podcast where we deep dive into anything and everything musical theater. I'm Tara.
I'm Stefania.
And in today's episode, we're joined by one of the cast members from the smash UK hit Pride and Prejudice, sort of. Please welcome Ruth Brotherton to the podcast.
Hi,
Ruth. Thank you so much for joining us. Congrats on the show. We saw it last night. We had an absolute blast. We know you were originally a part of the UK tour, understudying a few characters, and now here in Toronto, you are playing Effie, who also plays Elizabeth in the show.
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
How did you first get involved with the show?
Well, it was about a year ago, actually. I did an audition it was honestly about 2 weeks before the tour started. It was all very last minute. And I auditioned for the understudy part, and I got it. I sort of got the call the same day. It was all very quick, but it was great. I was sort of at my regular job at the time, and then I sort of got the call and was like, right, I gotta go, bye. And then got involved, and we did the tour around the UK for 6 months. This year, beginning of 2023 till June, which was so much fun. And then now we're in Canada at the end of this year, which is such an incredible way to end the year. I would not have seen my career ending up here a year ago, so it's really, really cool. Such an amazing experience.
Is this your first time in Canada?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm excited to explore a bit.
How's the weather?
You know, it's not as cold as I thought it was going to be.
I was going to say, you're here for a very mild winter. Normally, we have snow by this point, so it's pretty mild.
Nice.
Yeah, people also keep warning us, though. They're like, oh, January, it's going to get cold, and I don't know if I'm looking forward to that.
Everything is bleaker on the other side of Christmas, is how I feel. It's just,
very true.
Everyone knows. For your audition process, was it just kind of like a regular audition that came through, or because of the way the show is structured, did you have to do anything special or interesting for this audition?
So what did I have to do? I had to sing a song and accompany myself. So I played the piano and I sung. We had to do like a pop song. So I did Sarah Bareilles. I've forgotten what it's called now. Love Song.
Oh, nice.
Which was good fun. So I had to do that. And then because I was going for an understudy, I had to basically do about 5 different characters. They wanted to see me do all of them. So it was quite a lot actually to prepare, but also really good fun. It was like playing with all the wild characters in this show and having to go at all of them. So that's what I sort of had to do.
So you're joining us today before a matinee, and if you weren't doing this interview, what's like a typical show day for you, your routine?
Like a double show day?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to be fair, at the moment, it's been a bit of a hectic week because we sort of got here on Monday, had a day to chill, and then straight into tech. So it's sort of been maybe not the most typical day yet.
Right.
So I guess so far, like, yesterday, for example, was just sort of got up, made myself some food. We've got like nice kitchens where we're staying, which is great. So just sort of got up, made myself some food, sort of, lay in as much as I could to have some time to just sleep.
Yeah.
I'm still getting used to it a little bit from the jet lag. And then headed into the theatre, basically. And I just didn't get up to very much. But I am excited next week to sort of explore a bit and go out and see a bit. I know some people in the cast like to go and get their nice coffee in the morning, things like that, a nice ritual for themselves, for sure.
You guys should head down to the Distillery District and go to the Christmas market that's here right now.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's very nice. And it's like a nice little walkthrough. It's fun that you're here like over Christmas, but I'm sure it's also hard to be here over Christmas.
Yeah, it is. I think it's weirdly, I still don't think it's really hit me, to be honest. But I think it might be a bit weird, but I think what's so nice, there's such a lovely group of girls that I'm in the cast with, and some of them I did the tour with before, so I know them quite well, and it's such a lovely group, and I know we're going to have a great time. And the theatre very kindly are like treating us to a nice Christmas meal.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is really, really, really lovely. So I think it's going to be a really special day, even if it's quite a different Christmas. It will still be lovely. So
your cast and the cast of 42nd Street all here from the UK. This whole Christmas season. So you're like, there's a lot of you.
There is a lot of you. Yes. Yeah. 42nd Street. That's a massive cast as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was big. We were there Thursday.
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah.
It's really good.
It was good.
You guys probably overlap, but it's a fun one if you have a chance.
I know. I was going to see if there was any way I could try and see them. But yes, I don't know whether we.
It's a heavy like theater season right now for us. Like 6 is still on, 42nd Street. You guys, it's fun. It's a lot of fun stuff. We get back to Pride and Prejudice a bit. So this is obviously such a beloved novel. It's been adapted so many times, but this one obviously feels different. Tell us about this specific version of Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It is. It's been done a lot because it's such a great story, so this version, it's basically the way it's done is it's like 5 servants who are kind of they're like the servants to the main characters, and they are sort of telling the story of Pride and Prejudice, and they're sort of putting on the characters, all the different characters, and there's only 5 of us, so there's a lot of playing several characters, things like that. And it's also just a very funny retelling of the story. It's ridiculous in many parts and very witty. It's such great writing from Isabel MacArthur, the original writer of the show. But I also think it's very, it's very true to the book as well. Obviously with some bits exaggerated, but I think what's really lovely about it is people who are already fans of Jane Austen and Pride and Prejudice, a lot of them have said, I really loved it because it was so kind to the book, but also took the mickey a bit, but it's genuinely just really authentic to it, which is really lovely. So that's basically, I guess, a general sum up of it.
Were you a Jane Austen fan before you signed on to the project?
Yeah, yes. I mean, I wasn't sort of, I guess, read all of her books, but I had read Pride and Prejudice, to be fair.
More than me. So.
There you go. Yeah. No, I had read Pride and Prejudice a few years before, but I had read that one. I was like, oh, this is actually quite good.
So the script, as you said, is written by Isabel MacArthur. When you read it for the first time, what did you think?
I was amazed. It was great. I think sometimes, as an actor, you get all sorts of scripts come through and you're like, oh, some of these are good, some of these are fine. But no, I read that one and I was like, I read it and I was like, I really hope I get this job because it will be so cool to do something that's just so well written. It's just so funny. And you'd have so much fun getting to perform it. And it is such I feel like such an honor every night getting to do it and put it in front of an audience, and just, everyone gets every evening a new audience gets to experience it, and that's so much fun to do. So yeah, I was just I read it and I was like, yeah, please be part of this.
I mean, let's talk about audience reactions. Last night, there were some girls in front of us who I think had never heard of or seen Pride and Prejudice. At certain moments, they gasped or were shocked. One point, they let out an audible reaction so loud the usher in the corner had to turn away. He was laughing so hard.
Oh, really?
There were some girls in our row also who were really cracking up, laughing. What is that interaction with the audience during the show?
Oh, so much fun. I mean, the audience last night were particularly vocal.
Yes.
It was so great, though. I love it when that happens. I mean, all the audiences so far in Canada have been, actually. They've been really, up for it, which is so nice. But, yeah, it does make a difference when the audience just, get involved. But, I mean, every show we've done, even on the tour, maybe some quieter venues, even if they didn't laugh as loud, afterwards there'd be loads of rave reviews online, so they're they're still enjoying it. I think that's maybe just British sensibility, some of them sort of thinking, I can't laugh too loudly.
I mean, this won Best Comedy at the Olivier, so obviously, like, it's a show that it's resonating with so many people. But yeah, I don't think I expected it to be as funny as it was, and I don't know why, but there were moments that, like, every bit that you guys did, so good. It was.
It is. I think it is sometimes a bit of a surprise. Like, again, as you said, if you don't know much about it, you're sort of like, oh, it's okay, Pride and Prejudice, but it says it's funny. Oh, I'll give it a go, and then actually, it is just such a good time. Like, there's just so many jokes in it, and like, there's something for everyone in it. I think it's such a good time. It is really. That's why I like. When I was an understudy, my friends who wanted to come and see it, they were like, oh, well, I might not see you. And I was like, it doesn't matter if you don't see me or not. I know you're just going to have a great time if you come. So just come to
I mean, kind of along that same line, like, people that are fans of the classic, like, what would you say to audience members that might have expectations of the original text?
You know what? I think, actually, as I said earlier, I think it is pretty true to the characters, but also aware that some of the characters might get a little bit of Mickey taken out of them, but from a place of love, It's not like, look at these characters. Like, these characters are, like, so funny and sometimes quite ridiculous. So let's kind of, like, lead into that a bit. And so I think, as I said, I think genuinely, if you are a Jane Austen fan, and you will enjoy it, because it is a love letter to these characters in the story, but just with, like, a modern kind of twist and comedy added to it.
I liked, one of the things that made me laugh so much was the characterization of Mr. Bingley, and how he was kind of like a modern frat bro almost in the show. It made me laugh, and I liked that it kind of modernized and, like, translate, okay, this is what he would have been like then, the coolest boy in town, and that's what he would end up being now, and kind of how these, like, relationships are maybe, like, still relevant to to how the way dating is working, or the way romantic relationships maybe work now. I don't know. Do you see that?
Yes, I know what you mean. Do you mean Wickham? Maybe
a little bit.
Well, when he comes out with the Pringles can, the Pringles can is really.
Oh yes, that's true. Yes, yeah. That's very true. I think Pride and Prejudice. Well, it's kind of like an early rom-com. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is like it's got all those characters in it. It's got, like, the lovable idiot, the, like, suave, handsome man, but there's also, like, the, like, frat boy kind of thing as well. Like. And then all the different, like, it is very true. I do think that, like, sometimes when you see these characters, you're like, oh, I've met that guy before. Oh dear.
People are the same. They've never changed.
No, and maybe they never will. Damn it.
So we've got a little game. It's a Regency era hot or not. So we're going to say something from the Regency era, and you're going to tell us, is this still hot? Would we like to be doing this now? Or it's out. Okay. So we're going to start with going to balls.
Oh, hot. Yeah. That's a party. Yeah, I'm so up for that. Like, getting to dress up. Also, the outfits they wore on that time. So gorgeous.
I mean, leads to the next one. Empire waist dresses, hot or not?
Hot, yeah. I think what's quite nice is although they don't necessarily go in at the waist, you do, you have room for if you've eaten a lot, which I quite like. So you can go to these parties, you can have a drink, you can have as much food as you want, and no one's going to know. No one's gonna know.
So true.
Yeah, definitely hot.
Okay, what about a large feather headpiece?
Ooh, yeah, hot. Why not?
Okay.
Yes.
I think so. I think they're fun. Why don't we still wear them now?
Great question. I love the headbands, like feather.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In the show.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I do like putting those on a that bit. Yeah. Okay. The only thing is they can fall off quite easily. So maybe
a little heavy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess I'll say hot for the look, but maybe for a whole evening, that might
practicality is maybe not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what about a corset?
Oof. Again, hot in the way it looks, but not for the having to wear it all the time. Yeah. So I'll go for not for that.
Okay, what about an opera glove, like a long glove?
Oh, yeah, hot. I like that. Yeah, they're gorgeous. I think actually originally in like one of the early iterations of Pride and Prejudice, they did have those gloves, but I think it got far too annoying to put on.
Put them on.
Fair enough.
I mean, not the same, but like you guys do wear rubber gloves at the beginning of the show. So kind of the modern take on the opera glove.
That's very true. Yeah. People do love that in the pre-show.
It's great. The pre-show is so fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of audiences here almost don't expect that pre-show, which is quite fun when we get to sort of interact with them all. But yeah, they're always like, oh, you got modern rubber gloves on. What's going on?
Okay, marriage proposals after only knowing each other for a month. Hot or not?
Not. I mean, as you see in Pride, well, I don't want to spoil it unless it's already, but that doesn't always work out. So
yes.
Okay, what about a large, sprawling 16-bedroom estate?
Hot. Yeah.
Yes,
We'd all like that.
We would all like that.
Especially in this modern world. It doesn't happen very often. Yeah. Oh, God, yeah, that'd be lovely. What is it, 16 bedrooms? That'd be great. Host all your family and your friends. Be great for Christmas.
That's true.
And you can host a ball with all your guests.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Have all the balls you want.
What about scheming mothers?
Not. Yeah. God, if I had Mrs. Bennet as a mother, oh, that wouldn't be fun. She's fun to watch, but not to have as an actual mother. Oh my God.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, so some of my favorite adaptations of Pride and Prejudice are, include the BBC miniseries, the Joe Wright movie, Bride and Prejudice, Fire Island, the web series Lizzie Bennet Diaries, which I feel like shares the most in common with this adaptation. And of course, I was raised on Bridget Jones' Diary as my first kind of exposure to Pride and Prejudice. Do you have a favorite version of Pride and Prejudice before this one?
Ooh. I mean, okay, actually, you know what? This is a funny one. When we were on tour, we watched, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
I read it. I read the book.
Oh, you read it? Okay.
Yeah.
So I haven't read it, but Leah, who's in our cast, she's the one who plays Lydia and Mrs. Gardner and things like that. She was like, "Oh, guys, this is a really fun time, so we all watch it together," and it is a wild time. I don't know whose idea it was, but you know what Pride and Prejudice needs? It needs zombies. But actually, you know what? If you want a good time, that film is
it works.
Yeah, surprisingly, it works. Yeah, but yeah, I did also love the film. You know what? I still haven't watched the TV show. I mean, I've seen the iconic scene of Colin Firth.
Yes,
obviously. But I know that TV show is very good. A lot of people talk about how great it is. So, yes.
What do you think it is about this story that keeps inspiring new versions and keeps drawing audiences back?
I think it's quite relatable, really. I guess, like, in that it's about, ultimately it's a love story, isn't it? And I think people relate to that. And as we were talking about, like, some of the characters, they still exist in our like modern world. It's a slightly different version of it, but I guess that's why, like, people still connect to it in a way that they also did back then. It's still about falling in love or falling for the wrong person or prejudging someone, being proud about it and then actually realizing you've made a mistake and ultimately falling for them. I think that's quite a timeless tale, really, which is really lovely. Yeah.
So you only have a 5-person cast, and so many of your castmates play many different characters. You're playing Elizabeth, who is kind of a constant all the way through. Does it feel a little easier to get to stick with a main character? Do you miss flipping about through different voices and characters?
Yeah, I guess a bit of both. It is nice that once I put my Elizabeth dress on, she's on. I don't have to worry about the stress of, oh, quick, throw this costume on, take it off, run around the other side, and So yes, it is quite nice that once Elizabeth is wearing her dress, and it's nice to sort of stick with her. But yes, there is sometimes part of me that kind of misses, especially because what's quite nice. Elizabeth is nice in that she's almost the audience's perspective, I think, a little bit. She's kind of reacting to all this like craziness around her, which is so much fun to play. But yeah, sometimes I do miss the like extreme characters that you play in the other ones, and sort of having a bit of fun. Like, okay, one moment I'm playing this suave Darcy, and then the next one I'll quickly be Mrs. Bennett and be absolutely mad. It's like, I mean, you know, Danny's brilliant at it. But it's crazy the amount people have to run around and do that stuff in the show. It's very impressive.
I was gonna say it's so impressive, and like all of the. I was paying attention a lot to like facial expressions. So like when everyone would leave and come back as a different character, like your face, like it's like physical comedy acting as well, which was so fun. But when you did have a chance to play other characters, did you have a favorite of the bunch?
Oh, I did love playing Caroline Bingley. She is so much fun. She's so outrageous. Like, she has this gorgeous long dress, and then she's just so like flirty and over the top, and just playing this silly posh woman who's just desperate for Darcy's attention. Yeah, I did love doing Caroline Bingley. I think that's one character I do miss playing. Her little dance when she's trying to impress me, that was a lot of fun to do.
That was such like a crowd pleasing scene where she's like trying to get everyone's attention. She's like trying to read the book, like Elizabeth is reading the book. She's like, let's all dance. Let's.
Yeah. I mean,
like,
I think what's so funny about that is like, we've all kind of been there. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously not, well, maybe not to that extreme, but like we've all been desperate for someone's attention, and we're just like, how can I do it? Oh, do they like someone else? Or maybe I'll try and be like them. Just, you know, like, I think that's why we almost feel for her in a way, even though she is, you know, not the nicest person necessarily.
Well, she's kind of like at the mercy of men in this era as well. Like, she also needs to marry well or kind of rely on her brother's kindness for the rest of her life. So she's stuck in the same position, even though she's a bit rude about it.
Yeah. I think that's actually, it's a good point, actually, because I think what's quite nice of what we do in this show is like, an audiences, we kind of set the scene of like the reality of what it was like for women in this time. Is like, you know, you did have to rely on the men a bit, like to survive, whether it was a dad or a husband, or like why that was so important. So modern audiences can understand why the push for a husband is so important.
Which I think something that's so interesting about this show too is that like obviously like marriage was so important, but this is an all female cast. All of the women are playing all of the different roles. So you touched on a little bit that you've known these girls for a while. You've gone on tour with some of them, but what is the on-stage and off-stage connection like with these ladies?
Really, really great. It's really lovely. I mean, you know, some of these people I've only known like a couple of weeks, but I think we've all bonded so quickly. And I think that is in this show's ethos a little bit, because you play servants who have all known each other for so long, and the way that they get through being servants for these people and sort of kind of being like the afterthought is that they have friendship and they have connection and they get each other through this stuff. And I think we've also got that in the cast, like everyone, you know, like sometimes some points this week we've been really tired and knackered and a bit like drained and in a new place, but we've all really been there for each other to help each other when we're down, and then also raise each other up. You know, we had a bit of a dance party before the opening night last night in one dressing room, just like get us all hyped up. Yeah. So yeah, the connection is genuinely really there, like on and off stage, which is lovely.
Not only are you all acting and singing, you're also playing instruments and moving set pieces. You mentioned that you like played the piano in your audition. Backstage might be a bit chaotic. Was someone playing the saxophone, or what instrument was someone playing? A flute? Was someone playing a flute last night?
Flute and sax.
Yeah.
Oh, a flute.
Yeah. There was flute, sax. There's harp, piano, accordion. Harp. Yeah, there's. Yeah,
how hard is it to find a harp player? Like I
know. Well, I think so. Tina, who plays the harp, she's been in the show since its conception, basically.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she's in it, the original cast. So I think the harp was sort of developed
with her
in it, and it's gorgeous. I mean, on tour we had someone different. They played the guitar instead of the harp, and it still So I think that there is that room for, because I think also as well in the original production there was a trumpet, someone played the trumpet, so there's sort of like, it's all been, all sorts of instruments have been, there's maracas as well, I can't forget.
Oh yes, in the garbage bin. In the Jane Austen,
Yes.
I mean, we haven't really talked about that pop songs are used to basically the through line of this story. It's so interesting to think about this because we're thinking of shows like Six and Juliet and how they're using pop music to tell these classic stories. Why do you think music or modern music helps tell a story like this?
I think it's nice for audiences to hear something they recognize, you know, especially if you are doing an older story that maybe is, you know, there's some things that people might not connect to. The fact that like there is such a push for husbands or whatever it is. But I think when they hear a song that they recognize and then they relate it into the story, it's like, oh yeah, okay, I get this. I get what's going on. Or even just you go, oh, I love this song. Oh yeah. I think it's sometimes just as simple as that. And actually over here, the reactions to the songs have been great, which is really nice. Yeah. I love the bit like when Elizabeth sings "You're So Vain." I think that's just so. That's
from that like first like guitar moment, everyone's like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it's so much fun doing those songs. Yeah. And it's, I guess the way in our version as well is like a lot of these characters are very reserved. So the way that they can show their emotions in our version is through karaoke songs.
Yeah.
If you could add a song to the show, what would you add?
Ooh, good question. Oh, I don't know. That's a good one.
I know, on the spot, but.
Yeah. Do you have any ones that you'd want to add?
I mean, when you guys sang "Holding Out for a Hero," I was like, I never expected this song to be in this show, but I thought it worked so well. And that one really is to me, I was like, oh wow, it's exactly what you need to tell through these lyrics that were already set there for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh yeah, I know what's going on now. Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think, what would be a good one? I mean, any like disco, I feel like fits the vibe. I know we've already got a bit of that in the show.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I mean, the song we were listening to before, our like hype song that we listened to before the show was Ain't Nobody by Shaka Khan. And I mean, that's time. Why not? Ain't Nobody better than you. That could be at the end.
Yeah.
The characters falling stuff.
Yeah.
Why not? Shaka Khan. Oh, show's always missing Shaka Khan.
Yeah. So true. So true.
This show obviously has so many amazing comedic bits. As Steph said earlier, last night our audience was having so much fun. Has there ever been a time that you guys have broken on stage and just like laughed along with us?
Oh yeah. There's been quite a lot of corpsing. I mean, I'm trying to think. There was one where I was watching it on tour. I was just backstage as an understudy, but there was one time when the guys were on stage and it was in Darcy's proposal when he sings I Think I Love You. And I can't remember what happened, but something happened and the music it fell apart. And then they were all laughing about it. And the audience joined in because they were like, oh, something's gone wrong and this is kind of funny. And then the musicians were just going, 1, 2, 3, 4. In different parts. The saxophone was playing one bit and the piano was playing another bit. And then Danny at the front as Darcy was like, where are you coming in from? I don't know. And then, anyways, they got to the end of the song and the audience hated that.
That's great.
Like, it's nice if like the audience are involved and we can all just have a laugh about it. It's just like, you know, and also Mr. Collins, I think Mr. Collins makes us all laugh a lot, especially with Lady Catherine de Bourgh, with his intense feelings, whatever that is, for Lady Catherine. That's made us corpse quite a lot. Making out with her hat and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Is there room for improv in this show? Because I know there are like some audience interaction moments. Like, how much freedom do you have to like go off script a bit?
Yeah, I think we don't do it too much, but definitely when there's the audience interaction, you have to sort of it's always interesting whatever the audience are going to say, and then Danny as Darcy has to sort of bounce off that. But I think as well, as I said, sometimes things do go wrong. There is so much there's so much chaos happening on stage that if things do go wrong, there's definitely room to just have a little quick, quip about it and have a laugh about it. So I think there is that sort of thing happens occasionally, and it's like that understand. Again, I think the audience is so like in it that like, yeah, fair enough. Let's have a laugh about this and whatever's happened. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite bit in the show?
Ooh, okay. There's a lot of stuff that's really good fun.
Yeah.
I do really enjoy, I think the whole like Lady in Red section is really good fun. When she goes and meets Lady Catherine de Bourgh for the first time. That whole bit of that song is really fun to perform and fun to watch. That bit is so ridiculous. There's a lot going on. That one's really, really good. And I think also as well, I like in Pemberley when Darcy does the whole bit of the portrait. That's
so funny.
Yeah, that always gets a really good reaction, and it's because it's so well done. It's so clever. Yeah,
I think last night the biggest laughs were the horse. That was.
Oh yeah. That horse is so ridiculously massive.
It's huge.
It's only used one time.
I know. Yeah, there is definitely a lot of like massive props that are used.
I was gonna say, I just think of you guys running like backstage to get props, and it's like, okay, well, if you go maybe off on one side, there's just a horse over here. If you go off on this side, there's like a frame of a portrait. It's great.
Yeah. Those someone backstage, I was chatting to them yesterday, and they were saying, they're like, I think it would be manageable backstage if we didn't have the horse. The horse is here, and I love him, but he's always in the way. Massive Willie. You just kind of...
I got sprayed last night with the rain at the horse. I was like,
Yes, that's I guess. Yeah, I know Leah loves that bit. I know she loves that bit.
I'm sure it's so fun. Yeah.
Give everyone a quick spray. Wake them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you were to adapt another classic novel in this format, which one would you choose? Which one would you like to see in this style?
Ooh, good question. Trying to think. I mean, other Jane Austens, I guess, have been done quite a lot because they all are quite funny. I'm trying to think of something different. I mean, maybe like, no, actually, I don't know. I was going to say some Charles Dickens because Charles Dickens is so like actually quite sad, a lot of it. And it'd be quite interesting. I don't know. We could see like if they tried to make it a comedy, like, I mean, obviously Oliver Twist, I guess, has already kind of been done as a musical. But I don't know, some of his other ones that David Copperfield actually could be quite funny. I don't know. That one I've seen like a comedy film that came out of that a few years ago. Maybe that could do with some music. That could do with.
Yeah.
From the top of my head, anyways.
No, that's great. Before we wrap up this interview, we have another game for you. This is a rapid fire. It's called Personality Test Drive. Okay, so if you are on a road trip, what cast recording would you listen to?
Ooh, I love Hairspray. You know the film that came out in like 2007 or something? I was obsessed with that film when I was younger. I'm going to say that.
Great. Yeah. It's a good one.
Always
amazing. So what is your go-to karaoke song?
Ooh. Okay. Man, I Feel Like a Woman, Shania Twain.
Yes. Yeah. Canadian icon.
yes, exactly. Yes. Such a good song. And everyone loves it.
It's true. It's a crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
A movie that you would turn into a musical.
Ooh. Oh, good one. Okay. What about June? I don't know why that just came into my head.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be interesting as a musical?
I don't quite see it, but I'm interested.
Yeah, it wouldn't. I guess it wouldn't be like a flashy kind of numbers, maybe. But there might. I feel like I don't know, Prince of Egypt-esque, like massive set pieces, and I don't know why that film came into my head.
No, it's great.
We're gonna roll with it.
Yeah. Timmy has the talent. He has the talent.
He does. Yes.
What's an instrument you'd love to learn?
Oh, Well, I'm trying to learn the bass guitar at the moment. I'd like to be really good at that. I think the bass guitar is so cool.
Yeah.
Or the drums. Drums are such a great instrument, but they're hard. Very hard. So, yeah, I'd love to play. Yeah, the drums. I'm going to say the drums.
That's great. Your favorite spot to sit in a theater?
Ooh, top of the like the dress circle. You've got such a good view there. I mean, they're usually quite spenny tickets there, but they are. If you can get that is so great. Yeah, good seat.
What is your favorite show that you have never seen?
Favorite show I've never seen? Ooh. That's a good question. Actually, I guess West Side Story. I've actually never seen it on stage.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I guess I'm maybe slightly cheating. I've seen the film.
It's okay.
You know, I've never seen it on stage, and the music in that, so gorgeous. So beautiful. Yeah.
Your favorite costume that you've ever worn?
Ooh, do you know what? I do love my Elizabeth dress in Pride and Prejudice also. Yeah,
and the Doc Martens. It's great.
It is. The Doc Martens are so comfy. The white chemise we wear underneath as well is really comfy. And then the Elizabeth dress is really beautiful that I get to wear on top. So yeah, Elizabeth Bennet.
Yeah.
What is your guilty pleasure show?
Oh, Legally Blonde.
Yes.
Legally Blonde. You can't go wrong.
We love Legally Blonde.
So good. The music's so fun, and I love the story. Yeah, Legally Blonde for sure.
Love. A dream role.
Dream role. Ooh. Oh gosh, I don't know. Dream role. I mean, I don't think I'd ever be able to play it, but can you imagine being Glinda coming down in that bubble? Oh. How gorgeous would that be? I love it. She has those beautiful dresses that she wears as well. Yeah, it's a bubble, isn't it? Yeah. That would be pretty cool. Or, I mean, I guess Elphaba gets to also fly, so you know, I guess being a wizard would be a experience.
One or the other. Yeah.
You just want to fly. Any show where you can fly. That's
yes. Yeah. Maybe I should just be Peter Pan or something. I don't know.
Oh, I'm not. That's a good one too.
No, I don't know if I'd actually want to play Peter Pan, but I want to get to fly, so you know, maybe.
And finally, which character that you've played is the most like you?
Ooh, I mean, I don't want to say it again, but Elizabeth Bennet, like, I can't lie, like it is. She's I guess you almost playing a slightly exaggerated version of myself, I guess, with Elizabeth Bennet. She's really cool. I feel like she reflects the audience. Like she's kind of the voice of reason. She's your bring you back down to earth for a second and be like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I quite like that. So yeah, probably Elizabeth Bennet, to be honest.
It's not a bad one to be like, I think. It's
yeah, exactly. I'd rather be like Elizabeth Bennet than, I don't know, Caroline Bingley or something.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Ruth, for joining us today. We know you have a matinee, but before we go, where can people follow you if they want to see what you're up to?
I mean, I'm on Instagram, Twitter, just my name, Ruth Brotherton. Follow me on there. I know Mervish Productions are putting lots of updates about Pride and Prejudice, sort of, so you can follow them as well, I think on Instagram and Twitter. So follow there. And I know we're in the CAA Theatre till the 14th of January. So we were here for a nice good stint, which is great. Yeah. There'll be lots of stuff to see online about that.
Yeah. And you can subscribe to our podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube and give us a like and a comment over there.
And you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Off2BOA Podcast with the number 2.
And as Ruth said, you can catch Pride and Prejudice sort of at the CAA Theatre here in Toronto until January 14th. Thank you so much, Ruth. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I had a great time.